Welcome back, viewers, to Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam vs. Zeta Gundam. Yes, it's a mouthful. I'm going back into the AUG route for a bit. Now, for all of you, this will have just sort of segued from the other stuff that I've been doing, but I've actually been running Xeon, bunch of that, and then Titans. I'm intercutting the different factions so that it's not like the same battles, just from different perspectives, back to back to back, because there's a lot of content that's going to be from this game that's not entirely outstanding or original from other content. It's going to be a bit samey, is what I'm saying. That's fine for me, because I'm a Gundam fanboy, but if you're not a Gundam fanboy, and especially as an observer as opposed to a participant, maybe not super interesting. But I'm hoping to run these three characters' routes because they're short. So we'll start with Katz. He was one of the three kids in the original Mobile Suit Gundam that just happened to end up sheltering on White Base after Side 7? Wherever it was they were living was attacked by Zeon, trying to get to the Federation's secret Mobile Suit development, Project V. So as the oldest of the three kids, he is now involved in the war. And our first mission is in a Nemo. Actually, this is the first time I've run a Nemo.
Katz, heading out.
Yeah, we're paired with Emma, so probably the Gundam Mark II.
I'm not letting Camille get all the credit.
You know, Lila and Emma were, like, really good characters. I really like how Emma, upon realizing the sort of moral bankruptcy of the Titans, decided, like, I'm not going to be a part of this. I mean, I'm surprised that, you know, it had to be spelled out for her, though. I mean, the Titans are always just kind of flagrant dicks. Yeah, a quick tap at the head Vulcans will deal that job. Oh, we got another one targeting me. Oh. Yeah, the Nemo is, I mentioned this in another video that you probably won't have seen yet. The Nemo was the basis for the Jagan mobile suit, which was probably the longest serving mass production design in the Universal Century timeline. Like, the Jagan served for 30, 60 years? It served for a very long time. Now, it wasn't just the same model of Jagan, there's a bunch of different Jagan variants, usually denoted with a letter designation, as you do. I mean, so far there hasn't been any, like, Titan name characters to interfere with this. There we go. Speak of the devil. Oh, wait. Emma exploded? How the hell did that happen? I gotta be real easy with the beam. Hey, you missed. He didn't. I gotta take out one more, Jared. Oh, how much you got left? Yeah, the reason I didn't pump any points into the Nemo is I think we're only using it this one time, and then we move on to the G Defensor, which was the booster component that was meant to be combined with the Gundam Mark II to give it transformable mobile suit-esque abilities. It's basically a space fighter, like the G fighter from the first Mobile Suit Gundam universe. You know that auxiliary support unit that a lot of the modern work tries to pretend never existed because it was a bit goofy at the time. Luckily, we can just dump a lot into that, and it doesn't cost very much.
Roger, I'm heading out.
Yeah, there's a little control fighter that's designed to uncouple from this thing once it's attached to the Gundam Mark II. But this is basically a booster pack for the Gundam Mark II that turns it into the Super Gundam Mark II.
We're setting out the mobile suit teams. Relay that to all the gunners.
Roger.
I think we're paired with the Methus. Okay, invert Y, got it. Yeah, there's not a lot of damage you can sponge as these fighter-type things. It's more so you need to avoid taking hits in the first place. Which is easy, because you're constantly moving, and a quick tap of the boosters and you start flying away. Fortunately, you also tend not to hit anything either. So waiting on Yazan's team. Where are they?
How's that?
Umbrubby team, Barzam team.
There we go.
We'll move in when the anti-air fire dies down. Barzams will take the rest. Roger that, Lieutenant Yazan.
Yazan was an interesting character. Like, he, to my knowledge, wasn't super sympathetic towards the Titans' way of doing things. He was just your stereotypical Blood Knight who, for him, the fighting was what it was all about. It wasn't about ideology. It wasn't about, you know, personal thing. It was just that he really enjoyed fighting, and the Titans gave him an opportunity to do that to no end.
Your toast.
It's difficult to get an angle on him when he's doing that, because... yeah, it's impossible to hit them. And they keep dodging everything I throw at them. Unless I get dangerously close, where they could even melee me if they wanted to. Did the Methus just friendly fire the rockets I fired? Well, if the Methus is having such a fun time of it. Come on. Ugh. For real? So I have to trade hits in order to, like, create an opening to strike back. And the problem is, you really can't do that, because, I mean, I've upgraded this thing to 3 stars rarity, and if I was still in the default configuration, I'd basically be dead already, because of how much damage I've taken. Like, you cannot take any damage when you use one of these things. G-Fighter was a bit tankier, but then again, it actually could transform into a tank. If that sounds a little weird, that's only because it was. Why do you think they, like, keep trying to get everybody to forget that the G-Fighter was even a thing? Yes, I friendly fired the Methus because it's being stupid and in the way, and not helping. My cannon hits aren't even stunning him.
Good. Incredible. How did he know the weak point of this machine?
I mean, the Methus rarely came back from a sortie without being completely wrecked. The thing is, the pilot always survived. No one piloting the Methus in Zeta Gundam ever died, even though the machine would always get totaled. So we have the gym too. We're not using it because it's not Katz's thing. Katz's thing is the G Defensor.
Katz heading out.
Don't have to die so quickly this time, Emma. The Bolanoak, Samahan, whatever the hell that thing is supposed to be. I love they put in the little space flex just so that you get a sense that you're, you know, moving. Because how else would you know? I like HUDs that give you, like, translation indication. So, like, it'll create, pillars in the HUD, kind of like streetlights on the road, and then as you're moving forward, the pillars will sweep past you to help remind you that, yeah, you're moving forward now, even though you're in space. Oh, Sarah's already dead. Little context on the plot, not that I've been covering that much while playing this. Katz had a thing for Sarah Zabirov. Her loyalties were to Scirocco, however, and, well, she died during this engagement, and Katz kinda snapped because of it.
Run away and be quick about it.
Sarah may forgive you. I'm not so indulgent.
You basically can't hit something if they're following you, because the turning radius is so ridiculous. Oh my god.
You're mine.
Can't be destroyed.
Emma, can you not just be in my way for a second? I'm trying to actually be involved in this fight, and you're not making that easy. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't do this last. I wouldn't have the patience for it.
I'm out. Won't get any more.
You're mine.
Did he seriously just melee rush?
You're mine.
Oh! On.
Goodbye, you pests.
Gotta get Scirocco to take a hike. But we gotta deal enough damage that he F's off. Don't know why I'm watching my language now. I've already sworn in this series. Oh, no! No!
Not bad.
I need backup because I can't open up an opportunity to take a shot at him. Ah, great, he just intercepted my missiles. Yeah, I can't open up an opportunity to take a shot at him if he keeps closing the gap like that. Oh. That takes complete control away from me. But I can still get hit, mind you.
There. Not bad.
And I'm nowhere near being eligible for using recover. Can he just get out of here?
You're mine.
Right.
Goodbye, you pests. There.
Oh.
Useless.
You know, I'm set up to be in something that's kind of akin to a high mobility fighter. Why am I actually struggling to keep my distance from that chonky-ass mobile suit of his?
There.
Ah, great.
Goodbye, you pests. What? I'm out. What are you doing?
Oh, he's still not interested in leaving.
What? You're mine.
How low do I have to get him?
Above me.
And he just effortlessly dodges that.
Let's win!
Oh my god, this is actually taking forever.
Not bad.
Because he just won't leave. Took your sweet time, didn't you?
Katz, I'm coming back now.
God, I nearly died with an evasion rate of 90%. Yeah, no, operating this thing is just asking for shit.
Katz, heading out.
Ah, the Beyond. Again, for all of you, you may not have even seen me use that yet, but I've used it and I don't care for it. It's not fun. Oh my god, the mission area. I hate these mirrors. What is with my controls right now? Trying to turn left, I go right. Trying to go right, I turn left. Do I have a controller that works? Or is that just a pipe dream? Oh my god! Yeah, I just clipped myself with that one. God, I thought these mirrors were annoying when I had a machine that I could actually, like, control its maneuvers. Oh no. This is 10 times worse. Are they mirrors? Are they photovoltaics? Who knows? Yeah, Camille, I'm expecting you to do a bulk of the damage against Haman here because I can't hit the broadside of a battleship. Especially when they keep dodging my shots.
This is the end for you, hypocrite.
What is it?
Zeta, you're the one responsible for these delusions.
Come on, stop!
How dare you meddle with my mind? You should be ashamed.
Yeah, you always knew in the multiplayer you had a shitter if they whipped out this or the G-Fighter, because it's just like, wow man, really? You're just gonna fly around not helping your team and just being an irritating mosquito for your enemies? I'm gonna get a mobile armor. I'm gonna use the Bygro! It's like, oh, so you're just a troll. Well, get out of here. Back in the day of local multiplayer, if somebody was being an asshole, you could just kick their ass.
It's all your fault. Come on, stop! Fuck!
Yes, I hit my ally, because he's not doing enough damage against Haman, so I have to do it.
Know what you are, Haman.
And I don't want this to go as long as the damn Scirocco thing, where it took it, like, forever.
Return to your world of darkness.
My god, this turning radius. And I just got hit with my own explosion because of that. Oh, she's targeting me now. Oh god, these controls are so jank. Oh, there goes Haman. Now we just have to kill randoms.
The Zeta.
Yes, the reason negotiations broke down aboard the Gowadon was because Char got a little testy with Haman. I mean, his Ayuk allies were a bit short with him after he did that, but in the end, he knew something that they didn't, which is ultimately what segued into Mobile Suit Double Zeta Gundam, which was that Neo Zeon was going to invade soon and take over the Inner Sphere, and she basically was like, you know, hey, join up with us again before we start the invasion, otherwise we might be on opposite sides of this, and he's just like, Zeon shouldn't invade. Never mind the fact that the film that was released that chronologically came immediately after Mobile Suit Double Zeta Gundam was Char's counterattack, where he decides to invade instead, the second Neo Zeon War. It's like, okay, so it's fine if you do it, but if she does it, no. Like I said, Char was always very full of himself. Well, it's one of the redeeming character features of Armor was that he was a pure spirit. He wasn't into broad ambitions or so forth. He was just sort of attuned to human suffering and was just trying to minimize that and get out alive, especially in the first series where it was basically just like, look, I didn't want to be involved in this, but they've left me with no choice because they destroyed our home. They're trying to destroy us on this ship. And we're not having that. God. Final battle. This will be fun. I actually thought he bought it before the final battle.
Where's the enemy? Are they coming from the left or the right?
Oh, look! We don't have fucking mirrors.
Katz, don't fall behind.
I just traded damage, which I need to not do. Even with an evade rate of 90%, I can still just get completely annihilated. Yes, Yazan was one of the Titans pilots that actually survived the Grips conflict, and appeared in Double Zeta, which he also survived. You know... Oh. Yeah, Emma just keeps getting hit with that damn sea serpent. God, he's being really maneuverable. Come on, Emma, hit him. Oh, interloper. Great, because he's in a variable mobile suit, he can go as quick as I can. For little bursts.
You're in my way! You! Not bad!
That was a miss. Oh!
You're what? You're in my way! You're useless!
Well, Emma, the only thing I have that seems to connect is the missiles. Well, I say that and they fly right past him.
What? Go! You're mine! You're useless! You're useless! Gotcha! Incredible! How did he know the weak point of this machine?
God, that was easier than when I fought Shirako.
Katz, I'm coming back now.
Yes, Katz is supposed to explode, or something to that effect. Here he survives, because we, pulled that off. But Sarah's dead. Camille's still in a coma. Yeah, like I said, Katz's route is nice and short. So, Fa, Yuiry, or Reccoa? Reccoa is probably going to be the hard of the two. We'll finish off with Fa, probably. Beat Paptim and Shirako, immediately, you know, become mesmerized by him. Way to go with that one, Reccoa. Ah, yes, this is the mission when I accidentally blew her up when I was playing as Quattro. Oh, big surprise there, considering that, you know, she just flies right next to the enemy that I'm trying to cannon. I have to make sure that doesn't happen to me while I'm doing this. But at the same time, I have to make sure that he doesn't get blown up.
Yes.
This is an obsolete design for this era. Get out of my... No.
Get out of the way. Next.
Whoa! Fuck's sake, Char. God damn it. To see the mother of all beam cannons firing over my head like somebody just let off the BFG 10K.
Get out of the way. Damn. I can still fight. Did it.
So Char is basically doing nothing right now. Why do we drift? Why am I, like, floating around space? And now I'm floating again. I'm not moving. That's not me. I'm not doing that.
Take that.
Get out of the way.
Yes, Char is doing nothing right now.
Get out of the way.
You know, Quattro, you want to, like, take a shot or two? You know, maybe just a little one? Ow.
You're mine.
Whoa!
I'm returning now.
Next time, warn me. You're gonna let one of those off. And the Methus. It's cheap to upgrade, but I'm gonna have to drop 3 upgrades in it just to get through this mission alive. And equip Recover.
Rebel unit, heading out.
Because like I said, the Methus is a garbage unit, now we're taking on Yazan's entire team, and they're all in Hambrobbies with Sea Serpents, and we have no named characters for backup.
All mobile suits, stand by for launch. Commencing countdown.
We're sending out the mobile suit teams. Relay that to all the gunners.
Roger.
Hit him. Next.
In fact, the Methus was so crap, they actually had to add an attack for it in this game. We actually have a missile launcher that the Methus in the show doesn't actually have.
There.
Just to give this thing a little more oomph because of how shit it is.
There. Next.
My god, like the cooldown between shots, everything about this mobile suit is just trash. then again, it was never intended for combat. It was a transformation mechanism prototype for the Z Gundam that would eventually be called Z2 because it didn't work in its original configuration. They had to go back and finish it. And even its melee attacks lack oomph. Trying to transform, but it didn't.
Still fighting.
They're firing on their own people!
One good transformation design that came out of this flying disaster.
Still fighting.
The Rizel, which is one of my favorite designs. I mean, its transformation is it's space only, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean, so is the Gundam Thunderbolt. I should say the Gundam Full Armor Thunderbolt version. But yeah, that's also a space only design, but it's one of my favorite variants of the RX-78. I don't like when they're space only, because let's be frank, the humanoid form is not exactly like the form for usage in space. So we dealt with Ramses and Dunkel, now we just have to give Yazan a piece of our mind. So I had to drop almost 100k in battle points on a mobile suit that I used for one fight I'm never going to use again. Because we'll be using this again for Fa's route, but the
returning now.
points you submit to the mobile suits are specific for the character, not the mobile suit itself. So I have to upgrade her Methus as well. Yeah, successfully attacked Kilimanjaro, we've seen that, but soon after this operation, Reccoa goes missing in battle. She's believed to have died in combat, but reappears in a surprising manner. Yeah, she's a treacherous bitch. And lastly, we get to Fa Yuiry, Camille's girlfriend. Mostly. I don't know, I get Frau Bo vibes from this girl, where the main they're like the stated girlfriend of the main character, but the main character just doesn't seem to give a crap about them.
So this is a battlefield.
I mean, hell, in the comics, Amuro was Salem Ass's boyfriend, so I mean, it didn't go that way in the anime. There's a lot of weird shit. Wow, a full volley of anti-capital ship missiles. Thanks for that. I really needed that in my extremely fragile, crappy mobile suit. I wonder if they ever did like a Gundam Unicorn game. Still probably my favorite like Gundam OVA ever. Like, bar none. Forget like Awakening of the Trailblazer or Char's Counterattack or any of that stuff. No. Unicorn. Holy crap, that was awesome. I mean, I've showed Gundam Unicorn to people who aren't traditionally Gundam fans. They still enjoy the hell out of it, because you don't need to be super familiar with the lore to, like, enjoy that, because of how much, like, depth it has in and of itself. It's also important to note that the amount of lore that you, like, really need to enjoy it is explained, and it's done in such an organic way that it doesn't feel, like, forced, like, oh god, this is the part where they explain the thing for new people. You don't really get that feeling in Gundam Unicorn. It was just this masterful work. And of course, it's one of those few Gundam works that actually ends on an upshot. I mean, provided you don't watch Gundam Narrative, which basically ruined that upshot with a dark and brooding atmosphere. That doesn't count. I'm not... It's canon, but I'm not counting it. Gundam Unicorn, that is a totally separate animal. mean, something would have to go wrong, otherwise there wouldn't have been Cosmo Babylonia for Gundam F91, and then the Crossbone Vanguard and all that bullshit. And then the Zolos or whatever war. I mean, I haven't even seen Mobile Suit Victory Gundam. I can't say I like the Mobile Suit designs either. They're a bit weird. And regressive, like, the Gundam is a machine that, like, splits into halves again, and they transform. Like, oh... Oh, I wasn't even trying to dodge that. Yo, clunk.
Yuiry returning!
There's a big time gap for you right there. Well, at least this time we don't have that godforsaken time limit.
Yuiry launching!
We haven't been forced to use one of those yet. Thank God. Jim Mark II. Jesus. Demo is fine. But, oh God, I don't... Like, the Gym was bad to begin with. And then you have the Mark II, which is not only the Gym's suckage, but transposed into an era where it's obsolete. It's got double the suck. And not in the good way, either. Not in the fun way. What, did I hit its shield?
I'll burn anyone who comes near me to ashes. Here we go, Bob. Look sharp.
Yes, Fa was not what you'd call a gifted pilot, or particularly bright. I suppose her only redeeming quality was the fact that she was extremely committed to Camille, to the extent that when he ended up in a psychic brain damage-induced coma, she stuck by him for like 3 years, until he recovered, and kept sticking by him. Of course, I'm not sure I'd call that love, or just blatant obsession. Either way, it worked out in Camille's favor. This is what I'm talking about in terms of, like, characterization in works of fiction, regardless of gender, but especially if you're talking about, like, depictions of women in fiction. You need as many that are capable, trustworthy, competent, and so forth as you have that aren't, because realistically, they're not going to be perfect just because their, you know, bits are on the inside of their body. Which is something the media has been, like, just pressing on the general populace. You can't depict a woman that's treacherous, or deceitful, or incompetent in any way at her job. Why not? Plenty of them exist. Plenty of, I mean, it's not even just a woman thing. Plenty of men exist with that same qualification. It's whatever happened the day when we had, you know, characters. Some characters were good, some characters were great, some characters were bad, some characters were worse. There was variety, there was intrigue, you know, it was a broad tapestry. Now it's sort of like that notion in a horror film where it's the characters with moral failings that die first because, oh, they're bad. Really. Really. And I love when a work of fiction actually takes the time to, you know, cook long enough, be in development long enough that the characters are all fleshed out, they have stories that make sense and work in the context of their universe, and it's not just some guy was like, oh hey, I got an idea, I'm gonna just, like, rip off the hero monomyth that's been done a million times before, only make it in space! Unfortunately, the newer Gundam series, and this is part of the reason I don't care for them, basically just fall into all the anime tropes. You know, back when the original Mobile Suit Gundam came out, like, anime tropes were not a thing. Anime was just a story from Japan done in cartoon format, which for them didn't have the implications that it did here in the West.
Is it Char?
Now, yes, these works were meant to market toys, or models rather. Well, models and toys, you know, merchandising. But at the same time, they didn't create it just to sell toys. I mean, that was obviously a tie-in and a motivator for the producers. But they're like, we're creating a story here, we're trying to tell a tale, and let us, you know, tell it.
This is the end for you.
Oh, she's targeting me. Ow.
I'm responsible for these things.
Come on, stop!
How dare you know this one?
No, don't! Then we might be able to understand each other if only things were a little different.
Silence, or is that a Char?
You know, it's funny how Haman talks about Char's hypocrisy, and she's equally hypocritical. There's a meta context for you, being hypocritical about being hypocritical. Oh, how many levels does this go? We have to go deeper.
What are you doing here, Katz?
Of course, a lot of people started to question Haman when she started coming on to Judao Ashita, because he was a bit young for her to be doing that. Then again, when we find out the age that Char met her and his reputation with having suspicious relationships with teenage girls, all kinds of very questionable things start coming to mind. I mean, Lala soon, according to the lore, encountered by him in a comfort house, which is basically a brothel. And she was a teenager. Tell me, Char, what were you doing in that comfort house? I wonder. And then his early encounters with Haman met her as a teenager, and there was a tryst between them. Bear in mind that he's already, like, in his 20s. Interesting. And then, after that, there was, like, another one. It's just like, oh my god, man. You're starting to build up a reputation. It's not good. It's not cool. Yeah, the main one from Char's contract, the one that piloted the huge mobile armor thing. I forget what it's called. Izeru Alpha or something? Yeah, it was like Alpha Izeru. It was this big mobile armor. God, the Methus is so weak. Like, no joke, I feel slow, my attacks have no punch.
Yuiry returning!
The awkward look doesn't put me off. That yellow color scheme does. I can't really say the awkward look would put me off, because, again, I just said I'm a Rizel fan. The transformation of the Rizel is basically, you take the Zeta Gundam, you take the Methus, or the Z Gundam, you mash them together, you get the Rizel. And there was an interesting reason for that association, because I've probably covered this already, so I'm repeating myself now, but it was so long ago that I don't remember, so I guess you're just going to hear it again, assuming you even watch those videos, assuming anyone watches my videos. The point is, Zeta was a resounding success. I mean, it could fly in atmosphere, it had enough extra lift and power to carry another mobile suit of similar weight on its back, which meant it could act as what in universe is referred to as a sub-flight lifter. It could re-enter the atmosphere, again, protecting another mobile suit as it did so. And it enjoyed a boost to its space-based acceleration and maneuverability in its transformed state, so Zeta was a resounding success. The problem, the damn thing was hella pricey to manufacture and maintain. So a bunch of groups were like, we gotta find some way we can make the Zeta Gundam, like, cost less if it's going to be mass-produced in any capacity, and virtually every attempt sacrificed something somewhere. One of the truest attempts at that was, oh god. There was, I forget what it was called, like, it was essentially like a ground-type version of the Zeta Gundam, although calling it ground-type is perhaps a misnomer, because it was perfectly capable of flight, but the way they accomplished it was... The way they accomplished it was to sacrifice all the space-based functionality, like the atmospheric seals, the use of rocket fuel and rocket tanks instead of jets, and the vernier system. They swapped that out in favor of, you know, like aerodynamic control surfaces, which would be cheaper. And they created a variant of the Zeta Gundam that was true to its form factor, but was able to cut down on the price by merit of, oh, well, you know, if we cut the space features out, we can make it much cheaper. And Karaba, the AU's terrestrial counterpart, that was their baby, because they didn't operate in space, so losing the space-based functionality made no difference to them. God, I hate that I can't remember what it's called. Then there was the Regis, which Amuro piloted before getting his new Gundam, and that's the Greek or whatever new, not actual new, which tried a backpack booster, kind of like the G-Defensor, in order to give it a transformation-like profile, but it couldn't enter the atmosphere, it couldn't act like a subflight lifter, and the time spent waiting to rendezvous with your backpack thingy slowed the whole transformation down, so it was another bit of a dead end, and the Rizel was basically the space-based counterpart of Karaba's terrestrial Zeta, where they lost the atmospheric function as well as the subflight lifter and the re-entry in favor of a cheaper, space-only mobile suit. Yeah, there's 3 characters done. Fa, Katz, and Reccoa. We still have Emma, Apoli, and Roberto, and, you know, Apoli and Roberto die at respective points, but because of the alternate timelines, we have the option of exploring extended routes with them. But that will be a different time.